Okay, guys, so I wanted to come on and go over some of the questions that you did in lesson 16-2. So I just wanted to take some time to go over those questions that I noticed that we missed the most. So looking at the questions, we're going to start off with question number 5. So remember, in these lessons, they were asking us about perimeter. So if I'm thinking about perimeter, I'm thinking about around the outside of whatever shape they gave me. So for number 5, they gave me a square. And for that square, they put 6 inches at the top. Well, there's some things that I already know about a square. And one of those things is that a square has 4 equal sides. So that means this side was labeled as 6 inches. But I can also go ahead and add 6 inches right here because these sides are supposed to be equal. Which also means that down here, I can label this already as 6 inches. And then over to the side, I can label this as 6 inches. So we said we were working on perimeter, which is around the shape. So that means I'm going to go ahead and get started with my equation to figure out the perimeter for this shape. I'm going to take each of these sides and I'm going to add those sides together. So I have 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. So I have 6 and 6. That's going to give me 12. I have 6 and 6. That's going to give me 12. So I'm adding 12 and 12. The perimeter for the outside of this shape is going to be 12 plus 12, which is 24 inches. Okay? So anytime you see that they're talking about a square, they tell you it's a square like they did in number 5, you need to know that all of the sides of a square are going to be equal. All right, so let me clear this off. Probably should have kept perimeter up there. I'm going to rewrite that so we don't forget that's what we're working on. All right, perimeter is around the outside of the shape. So the next question I want to look on is number 7. For number 7, it told me that I had an equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle. What word do I hear when I say equilateral triangle? I hear equal. So yes, it's a triangle, but that key word is equilateral, which that doesn't really look all that equal. So let me try that again. The key for equilateral triangle is that all of the sides are equal. They are equal in size. So they told me that one of the sides was 6 yards. If it's a equilateral triangle, that means each of these are supposed to be how much? 6 yards. So I can go ahead and label 6 yards. So then that makes my equation to be 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals P, which is going to be my perimeter. So I can take 6 and 6 and I get 12 plus 6 equals P, my perimeter. Then I take 12 and 6, that gives me 18 yards for my perimeter. Okay, so we got 2 key things there. Number 1, we talked about a square, which I know has 4 equal sides. The second thing we talked about was an equilateral triangle, which means all the sides of the triangle are going to be equal. So let's clear this off and look at our next highly missed question, okay? Let's see what we got here. All right, so still on topic 16.2. Let's go ahead and look at, let's start at number 8. Okay, so number 8 says, in my directions, in 8 and 9, use the picture to the right. So that means I cannot ignore that picture. So I'm going to go ahead and take a glance at that picture right now. I see a picture and I see a caption. The caption says, the base of the glass is 56 feet long and 32 feet wide. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that glass. There are two different lengths, so I know it's not going to be a square. It's going to be a rectangle of some sort. So the longer side is supposed to be 56 feet. The shorter side is supposed to be 32 feet. So all I did was I took the words that was inside of that caption and I created an image to go along with it. So now that I have this image, I'm ready to go ahead and start looking at number 8. So number 8 says the base of the glass house to the right is a rectangle. Oh, look at there. I already have that rectangle. What is the perimeter of that base? Remember, perimeter is how much going all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and label these two sides are the same. So I can go ahead and label that as 56. Here I have 32. These two are the same. So now I'm ready for my equation in order to figure out the perimeter. So my equation is going to be 32, this side right here, plus 32, this side over there, plus 56, this side right here, plus 56. So now I'm ready to actually start doing that work. And so how I want to do my work all depends on me. So I'm going to start off just by doing 32 plus 32, and we can use base 10 for that one, okay? So ones, tens, hundreds, 10, 20, 10, 20, 30, 1 and 2, 10, 20, 30, 1 and 2. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 ones, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 10s, 60 plus 4 gives me 64. So now, instead of using base 10, I want to use a different strategy, okay? So my new strategy is going to be using the number line. So for the number line, I have added these two things here, which gave me 64. So I'm going to start at 64 and then start adding my 56, my first 56. So I've done this one, I've done this one. So I'm starting at the 64 when I added 32 and 32. So here I have 64. So I'm going to go ahead and add 56. So if I'm looking at 64, I want to get to the closest 10. My closest 10 is 70. So how much do I need in order to get to 70? You know, it's really convenient because all I need is this 6 right here to get to 70. So I have 64 plus 6 more. That gives me 70. So now I'm at 70. I have 50. So I want to break that up so that it's going to be easier for me. So I'm going to break it up into 30 and 20. So what do you think I'm going to add first? You got it. I'm going to go ahead and add that 30 first, because 70 and 30 gives me 100. So now I'm left with 20 to add. So I'm going to add 20 to 100 and I get 120. So I've added 32. I've added 32. I've added 56. So now I'm left with another 56 to add. So I'm going to go ahead and take this back to the base 10, ones, tens, and hundreds. 100, 10, 20. Let me lower that just a little bit. And then I'm going to add my last 56. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so I'm going to add up. I have 56. So I have 6 over here. I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and I have 100 here. So I have 100 plus 70 plus 6. So the perimeter for this huge space up here is 176. That is my perimeter, 176 feet. So for number 8, when it asks me what is the perimeter, my perimeter is 176 feet. All right. All right. So let's look at the next missed question, which was number 13. Let's look at number 13, okay? So number 13, let's go ahead and clear our workspace. If you are not already writing on the paper that I provided you, you need to make sure you're writing on the paper. There's no way that I can do this work in my head. I have to show it out. So I need for you to make sure, even though you are working from home, that you are showing your work. That's how you are making sure that you aren't making little errors and that you can see what is happening. You have to see what they are saying to you. So as I get ready to work on this next word problem, number 13, I want you to be thinking, what work did you show? Did you show any work? If not, you need to make sure that you are going back and you're showing your work. All right? So let's look at number 13. It says that Michaela draws a rectangle. So I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to go ahead and do what Michaela does. Because what does she do? She draws a rectangle. So what are we going to do? We're going to go ahead and draw a rectangle. All right, there goes my rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and read on. With the sides side length of 4 feet. So it said that the side of it is 4 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and label Michaela's side. And 8 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and label this side. So I have Michaela's rectangle, 4 feet, and then 8 feet. What is the perimeter in feet of Michaela's rectangle? And so we had a couple of choices. A, 12 feet. B, 16 feet. C, 20 feet. D, 24 feet. So in order to figure that out, I'm going to go ahead and finish labeling her rectangle because I'm trying to find the what? Perimeter. That is the outside of the shape. So here I have 8 feet. These two sides are the same. So I can go ahead and label this as 8 feet. These two sides are the same. I can go ahead and label this as 4 feet. So here I have it labeled. Now I'm ready to go ahead and write my equation. I'm working with perimeter, so that means I have to add up all of my sides. So I'm going to go ahead with my equation. 4 plus 4 plus 8 plus 8. She had 4 sides. I have 4 add-ins. It's going to equal P, which is perimeter. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding up my numbers. Excuse me. I'm going to add 4 and 4, which give me 8. So I have 8 and 8, which give me 16. So now I have 16 plus 8, which gives me 24. The perimeter of her rectangle is 24 feet. All right, we got one more to go over, and that is number 14. I am certain that you now know how to do number 14 because we talked about it when we were doing the problems on the first page. So number 14 says that Emma has an equilateral triangle. I'm going to say that again. She has an equilateral triangle. So earlier we talked about if it's an equilateral triangle, it's a triangle still. It has 3 sides, but those sides are what? Equal. So I'm going to go ahead and draw her equilateral triangle. Might not be perfect, but I know that those sides are equal. Each of these sides are supposed to be the same length. All right, so I keep going. those sides are 5 inches. So this side is 5 inches, this side is 5 inches, and this side is 5 inches. So here is Emma's triangle. The question is asking me, well, what is the perimeter for her triangle? Again, working with perimeter, so I am adding the outside of all of hers. So I'm going to make my equation. I have 5 plus 5 plus 5. I had 5 there, 5 there, and 5 there. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals my perimeter. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding. 5 and 5 is 10. So I have another plus 5 right here. So I'm going to bring that down. 10 plus 5 more equals, excuse me, 15. The perimeter is 15 inches. And I could even write that. Barely got room. All right. So Emma's perimeter is 15 inches. I hope that that this helped you all with the lesson, and tune in tomorrow because we'll go over 16-3.